Hello, this is Aaron Bowen, one of your librarians in the Merriam Library at California State University, Chico. This video is the second of two on the topic of scholarship. The first video considered the question, what is scholarship? While this video builds upon that question to help you assess an article's level of scholarship once you have found it. It does so by covering the Merriam Library's What is a Scholarly Article handout. This handout presents 4 strategies for determining whether an article you have found is scholarly or not. The first strategy is to consult this chart, which appears on the back of the handout. The chart presents the characteristics of articles that appear in scholarly journals in comparison to articles that appear in 3 other types of journal. Trade publications, which offer industry-specific news or opinion magazines, such as Time, Newsweek, or U.S. News and World Report, and popular magazines, such as People, Glamour, or Rolling Stone. Articles in scholarly journals have as their purpose to inform and report on original research or experimentation. They will have substantial footnotes or bibliographies. They are written by researchers in the field. Their language assumes a similar level of background on the part of the reader. They will often include graphs, charts, or other visual ways of presenting their data, and will follow some variation on the article structure presented in the first video. Historically, these articles have had a plain, black and white, just the facts type of format. By contrast, the other types of publication have their own individual characteristics. News and opinion magazines, for example, have as their purpose to provide more general information to a more general audience. They may occasionally include a brief bibliography, but most of the time they do not. They are written by journalists, magazine staff writers, and freelance writers. Their language does not assume any particular level of background on the part of the reader. They include many more photographs than scholarly articles. They may include simple graphs or charts, but these will not be as precise as graphs and charts presented in scholarly articles. They do not follow any set structure, and in terms of appearance, they are much more glossy and visual than most scholarly articles. Newspapers are also non-scholarly and have their own set of characteristics that most closely resembles the characteristics of news magazines. The second strategy for identifying a scholarly article on the handout is to check the peer-reviewed checkbox, which you see in many of the databases available to you through the library. This checkbox does a good job at ensuring your search results are scholarly articles, but it is not foolproof, so even with it checked, be sure to evaluate the articles you find using the chart. The third strategy is to ask a librarian. If you have found an article and are unsure about its level of scholarship, we will be happy to help you evaluate it. The fourth point you see on the handout is a bit unique. It asks if scholarly and peer-reviewed mean the same thing. Most of the time they do, though it is possible for a journal to be scholarly or quasi-scholarly without making use of a peer review system. In such cases, the editorial board of the journal may set academic standards for the content they publish, but will select what to publish on their own. Such is the case with publications like National Geographic, Science, and Nature. Whether resources like these are acceptable in your coursework depends upon your professor. If you need articles that are specifically peer-reviewed, you can see whether a journal employs a peer review process by looking in the Ulrich's Periodicals directory on the second floor of the Merriam Library. If you need any help using it, you can again employ the strategy number 3 and ask a librarian. The reference desk is right next to the section where Ulrich's is shelved. Also at the reference desk, you can get hard copies of the What is a Scholarly Article guide. But again, the handout is available at the following address.